Good morning, YouTube. Today is the 17th of July. It's Monday. Today I'm starting my competition prep for my next show. The show is on November 4th, so that gives us 16 weeks. I'm going to start off with a physique update, so this is like my starting point. I've just been on holiday, so I feel a little bit like fluffy is probably the right word. I'm like a couple of kilos up from last week, but it's okay. We are gonna hammer this 16-week cut. All right, here goes.
Can't feel anything. When will I learn? I push it down, push it down. I'm the one for a good time call, phone's blowing up, ringing my doorbell. I feel the love, feel the love. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, drink. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, drink. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, drink. Throw 'em back till I can't count. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, drink. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
Hey guys, so a bit of a change of plan. I was gonna film my workout, but I forgot, and it was a pretty terrible workout anyway, I'm not gonna lie. So instead, I'm going to talk about something that is very relevant to me right now and relevant to a lot of people. I know this because it's the #1 like most asked question on my social media, like direct messages, emails, and that is, how do you stay motivated? Now, before I start, I just want to say that I am definitely not always motivated like a lot of people think. I definitely have days where I'm not motivated, or even weeks. But I am going to talk about my experience with this, and obviously I've had to be very dedicated at times, and I'm going to talk about how I do this and how I think that you can do this too. In my opinion, there are 3 parts to staying motivated or staying dedicated. So the first one for me is, without a doubt, having a goal. So having a goal is so important, and I know this. I've tried and tested it mostly through my competition prepping. So when I'm on a competition prep, I have a goal, I have a deadline, and I know that by that deadline I have to be at a certain place. Now, this can apply to everything, not just weight loss or fat loss even. So I'm going to focus on just now because that is what I do. So when I don't have a goal or a deadline, that is when my motivation slips, because not having a goal allows you to say to yourself, I can just start tomorrow, or I'll start next week, or I can just have this cake and then I'll start after that. And that doesn't stop, so that just carries on, and that is my #1 fault, is when I don't have a goal to work towards. So you need to be sure of what you want to achieve, again, in any aspect of life. So write it down, know what it is, and know when you want to achieve it by. And I think that's probably the most important thing, because again, that stops you from making those decisions like, no, I'll just put it off. I'll put it off for now, because it's hard to draw the line then. It's hard to know when you're going to stop putting it off and when you're going to actually start doing it. And then time passes, and then you're like, I've achieved nothing. And it just makes you really disheartened, and then ironically makes you even less motivated than you were in the first place. So #1, have a goal. #2 is have a why. So what I mean by this is have a reason why you want to get to that goal. And this is probably even more important than having the goal itself, because in my opinion, if you have a goal that you don't identify with, then it's kind of useless. The goal has to be more valuable to you than the sacrifices that you have to make to get there. For me, getting on stage, I know that I want to look my best, and that is more valuable to me than all the things that will hinder me from getting there. So like eating cake or eating cookies, and y'all know I love cookies. You have to put more value on your goal than you do on the sacrifices that it's going to take to get you there. And if you just don't, then it's not a goal. It's not one of your goals, because you value the other aspects of life more, and that's fine. So for a lot of people, I know that they hold more value in other aspects of life than fitness, and I think that that's fine. I don't think that everyone has to have the same values as me or anyone else, but know that in your heart, like know that your value is on, like, going on holidays and going out and eating nice food with your friends and drinking and things like that. Like, it's okay to put more value on these things, but if you want to get somewhere bad enough, then you will put more value on that goal than the sacrifices that you're going to have to make to get that goal. So remember that. Don't let those like short-term gratifications sway your long-term focus. So you have to tell yourself, I want this as much as I want that. One of my favorite quotes actually sums this up perfectly. I found this quote about a year ago and it just clicked for me. I loved it instantly and I was like, yes, that is so true. And it is, dedication is just choosing between what you want now and what you want most. And that is the truest of truths for me. It's not always easy to make that decision, don't get me wrong. You will sometimes not make the right decision and you'll be annoyed at yourself for it, and that's fine too. But it's really important to remember as much as you can that is the case, and that these short-term pleasures and gratifications, they aren't the be-all and end-all. And if you want that distant goal enough, then you just need to keep reminding yourself of that. Thirdly, last and definitely not least, I think you have to make that decision. So this kind of just goes hand in hand with number 2, but I think it's important to separate it. You have to make that decision that you are going to do this. If you're like, I might do it, I'll try my best to do it, but if it doesn't work, it's fine. That's not gonna work. You've already decided that you're not gonna do it. Indecision is a decision. So you have to decide that this is what you're going to do and you are going to smash the hell out of that. Remember that everything that you do in life is your choice and nobody else's. Don't blame other people or external factors, and take control of your actions and know that you are your only limit and your only obstacle in this. Only you can get there and only you can prevent yourself from getting there. Once you realize that and you fully accept that, I think that's when everything changes. When you write off everything else that could affect it, all the ups and downs in your life, anything that you feel kind of hard done by, which is, yeah, it's shit, but I mean, at the end of the day, you have to look after yourself first, and you have to make sure that if you have this goal, it is important to you and you don't jeopardize your dreams and yourself for other things that may go wrong in your life because of other things, because the only thing that you really can control is you, and you must remember that as much as you possibly can. All right, on that note, I am going to go to bed because it has been a long day. I've not been feeling that great. It's not been a great day actually, and I am going to get a good night's rest and start a fresh day tomorrow. So good night, guys. I'll see you on the next one.